Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Hrastnik1860, your host for today, speaking here from Hrastnik in Slovenia. Thank you very much for joining us for our very first webinar. We were supposed to be fully engaged in the markets, trades and fairs, having sales activities all around the world. But yeah, as you well know, unfortunately, a lot of things were postponed or canceled this year. We're also in the midst of summer, so it makes sense to host such a webinar. It's a nice, quick, and easy way to stay connected. Before we start, I want to just give you a few general guidelines to follow. Please keep your microphones on mute. Please keep your videos off, and when asking a question, turn on the audio, just to make things smoother. Yeah, this webinar, which is called Reducing the Gravity of Glass, is part of our value engineering solutions, and we will focus exclusively on weight optimization. This, we believe, offers a multifaceted approach to current challenges that especially brand owners might be facing, and it goes without saying that this might be one of future solutions for the glass packaging industry, especially in beverages and perfumery. We have three expert speakers here today, ready to present this topic. So without further ado, let me introduce Peter Čas, the General Director of Hrastnik1860 glass manufacturing company, and he's been in charge of Hrastnik since 2017.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon.
We also have Klemen Risman, our Sales and Marketing Director, who will take on most of this presentation.
Hello to everybody from my side as well. Glad to have you here.
And we have Sebastian Lidinek, Director of Operations, and he will deliver more of the technical aspects of weight optimization.
Hello to everyone.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time, and it's a real pleasure to have you here. And now I give my word to Klemen, who will give you the session outline.
Thank you, Mateusz. Okay, welcome once again to everybody. Thank you for taking your time and joining us in this session. It looks to be a very efficient way to exchange information that we believe is valuable for everybody here. The idea from our side, first of all, a little bit of the agenda, the outline of what we are going to be speaking about today. First, we will touch the challenges that are surrounding us, and some to bigger, some to lower extent, driving the industry we are in. One and another, we will touch COVID-related challenges as well, but also sustainability challenges. Then we will present how we see our approach in tackling this through value engineering approach, and more specifically as part of value engineering approach, weight optimization. At the end of the session, we plan Q&A part to answer any dilemmas or questions that may arise. You are free to write down any of the questions in the chatter feed, send an email to Mateusz, or of course also unmute the microphone and openly ask the questions once we come there. At the end, surprise bonus for those who are following our LinkedIn profile, probably already know what is it about. Mateusz will explain more about that when we come there. Good. So first of all, COVID-driven challenges. We believe that on one hand, of course, the consumers are driving at the end of the day what the industry and market looks like. We have seen lately that the consumption, especially in bars, restaurants, travel, retail, have seen decrease. Consequently, more and more online purchasing is happening. Greater awareness about environment, and last but not least, hygiene concerns. Of course, these trends or these challenges are some are here to stay, some are new, some are temporary. But anyhow, any of these, it's important that we understand them and that we tackle them. If we look on the other side, on the market as a whole, we can say that the supply chain on the market took a hit, and we can see the trend of more regional focus of supply needs, strongly linked to more online purchasing. Investing in digitalization is happening. Everybody of us is, some to bigger, some to smaller extent, forced to focus on cost optimization, to look for any of the reserves that are available. And behind that, of course, pivoting also to some new and alternative solutions in terms of products or services. And in relation to that, efficient time to market is obviously becoming more and more important in order to answer the needs of the customers as fast as possible and to adapt. Sustainability challenges are, of course, not new, but we can say that the situation with epidemics is only increasing the importance. Just to name a few most important, which we take into consideration, renewable energy sources and energy efficiency improvements are there, especially when you take a look at the climate and energy framework that the European Union is putting on the table. The policy objectives are clear. The targets are very much stretched. By 2030, basically the target is to cut greenhouse emissions by 40% from 1990 levels. 32% share of renewable energy in energy use. 32% of improvements in energy efficiency are also, of course, there to happen. So a lot to be done. On the other hand, recycling. Again, if I just take a few numbers from the common EU targets, there is a target that 65% of municipal waste by 2030 should be recycled, 75% of packaging waste by 2030, and 90% average EU collection rate of used glass packaging by 2030. So a lot is behind the corner. Better quality of recycled glass, also extremely important, so that more recycled content can be used in new production loop. In this case, when we connect our mission, when we're focusing, our company is focusing purely on extra thin glass, this is extremely important in terms of how we collect the cullets. Today, we are not in position to use them. Carbon zero focus towards carbon zero society. We all know that glass production is basically not there yet. So a lot behind the corner there, and more linked to sustainable hygiene. Hygiene and food safety is likely to become an element of the next normal, and high priority for both consumers and packaging customers. So if anything is sure, we will need to tackle a lot of questions, a lot of challenges, to answer a lot of questions, how to adapt to all these challenges. And value engineering is the approach from our side. How we see the possibilities to create the value together with the customers of our products and services through optimization of value, function, cost at the end of the day of the product that we deliver. We see that as our ambition. We want to be not only someone who's looking at side, but we want to play an active partnership role together with our customers. And our ambition is to build value engineering approach on three strong pillars. First of all, sustainable innovative solutions. This one, we're not speaking only about products, but also about the technological capabilities in the company of ours that we need to support with. Safe and secure supply. You will later, for those who don't know, learn that we're fully focusing on glass packaging from November on. Two alternative production sites, so safe and secure supply is something that we will be building upon as well. And last but not least, also your cost optimization. By this, we believe that we can proactively support your strategy in adapting to challenges and value optimization in your supply chain related to glass packaging. Of course, it's a partnership to make it work. So sharing the insights from both sides is crucial in order for value engineering projects to succeed. We will do whatever needed from our side. We have put together, we believe, a strong team that can tackle this kind of projects. But the more we learn about your supply chain and about your products and about your production, the more we can help in optimizing the value. By saying that, value engineering on our side, we believe is put together from strong individuals and teams. First of all, we have representation of R&D inside of the factory. We have created a special NPD function to speed up the processes. We are investing in further into design management. We have established our foothold in terms of sales approach in USA and France. And last but not least, we have a strong team of both front and back office supporting team in Hrastnik. That's, I would say, our side of the coin. On the other hand, on your side of the coin, on the customer side of the coin, we believe that we have to understand your portfolio at its best in order to be able to kick off the activities. We can speak about, let's say, existing representations or items in the portfolio. We can speak about the new product developments that are in the pipeline. Last but not least, also we can use our standard collection bottles as the basis and take them forward. This is actually our portfolio, so we're looking forward to change this part of the picture with some of the customers' portfolios. Value engineering a little bit more into details. So what is value engineering according to our understanding? It's about optimizing value, cost, and function of the products that we deliver to our customers, or that we will in future deliver to our customers. There are multiple aspects of it. On one hand, machine speed and tooling mold optimization on both sides. So in our production and in customers' production. So the more we understand the possible link between the two, the more optimizations we can find. Quality level adaptations by adapting different levels of quality in terms of product quality above all. super premium, premium, standard, or vice versa. There are certain possible optimizations there as well. Sustainability improvements, especially in terms of lowering CO2 footprint impact of the products that we deliver. Design optimization by optimizing the aesthetic aspect, shape aspect, and functional aspect of the product. Packaging and logistics optimization by optimizing both secondary packaging and lowering logistics costs. And of course, not last but not least, weight optimization, which is the main thing on the agenda today. So why weight optimization? I would say that there's the most direct tangible benefit available for this one. So this is why we decided to tackle this one first. And in the next steps, of course, more details will follow also in terms of webinars or one-to-one meetings. We'll see how things will evolve. We will also tackle the others. So I would say that there's a lot of experience and proven success stories also outside of the glass industry. Across industries, we can see these kind of approaches in terms of materials in automotive, transport, construction, clean energy, from vehicles to roller blades, construction, home furnishing, you name it. Basically, it's a good way how to drive the energy efficiency and the environmental protection to new levels, and of course, it can also help in optimizing costs. Glass packaging is no exception. And lightweighting, I would say, is one of the most the musts to realize emission reduction goals. Besides that, we can realize also product item cost optimization through reduced production costs and increased productivity in some cases, logistic cost optimizations, in some cases also production cost optimizations, as mentioned before. On the other hand, we must not forget that there should be no compromises in loss of performance, meaning we still need final customer to trust us in consuming the products, so buying the products from the shelf. So I would say a good level of cautiousness here is important. That's why I would say that there are benefits, but there are not only benefits, which is what we try to elaborate on next two slides. First of all, the balance between positive impact on sustainability or cost improvement needs to be balanced out with the consumer experience. We all know that high quality luxury art items are still associated with, I would say, a heavier and complex design of glass, which is also the name of the game for Hrastnik. That demand for lighter glass packaging is definitely more common among cheaper and standard products. But taking our extra flint glass and our expertise into consideration, and taking into consideration the assets of the brands of the products that our customers sell, we believe this can be balanced out. That's one aspect of the story. The other one, by focusing on savings, if we're not taking into consideration the production processes behind and the supply chain behind, it can easily happen that we will increase the costs on some other part of the process. Meaning that it's again an exercise in the partnership, that we understand the transport, freight, depalletization, conveying, rinsing, filling, capping, pasteurizing, labeling, packaging, palletization, and then at the end of the day, again, transport. So any change that we will make on the bottle, we need to take these things which I mentioned into consideration. This would be a kind of an introduction to a little bit more technical aspect, elaboration of weight optimization, which Sebastian will take over. So I'm giving the word to Sebastian.
Thank you, Clement. Now we'll talk about some technical guidelines for weight optimizations. So when we are decreasing weight of the bottle, and if we do not change dimensions of it, the inner volume will increase in direct proportion. So if we want to volume stay the same, we'll have to change some dimensions of the bottle. Here I'm talking about height, diameter, shoulders height. We can apply different bottom shapes, but in most cases we will decrease thickness of the bottom and decrease thickness of side walls, of course, where possible. And so relatively small changes in dimensions will give us quite big differences in bottle weight. And because we are actually changing the characteristics of our product on one side, it's crucial that we are very careful on the other side about next few points. These points are, first, contact points or impact points of the bottle. These are points where bottles will impact between themselves, let's say during the transportation or on the filling line, and these points must not be weakened. Then we have sharp edges, which needs to be simplified just to prevent notch effect. Then we have to consider also embossings, debossings, also load. It's very important due to inner pressure, and after redesigning of the bottle, there will be also different forces which will act to the bottle due to different or change glass distribution. Here I'm talking about inner pressure, impact load, thermoshock. All these tests can and will be done during the period, during the testing period. So how to proceed in such a project? First, analysis of your portfolio will be done just to see which designs are best possible fits for this exercise. So it's not a big secret that less complex shapes are easier to work with and will also give us immediate results. Then also life cycle and load, it's very important. Then also simulation of possible optimization will be performed. So what percentage of weight can be decreased in different areas of the bottle. Blank study will be done. This is a tool which will help us to understand, to predict, to prevent any possible future issues or problems with bottle characteristics. So here we will also predict and define where to strengthen some areas and from which areas glass can be removed because they are just strong enough. And in the end, we will also try to understand what bottle design changes are acceptable from brand assets perspective, just to gain some additional optimization. And here we will have to optimize some sharp edges, embossings, debossings, other boundaries in glass surface, and maybe some changes in decoration or also on hot treatment. So in the end, I can say when taking into account all these measures, we are able to reduce glass weight up to 30%. I cannot say this in general for all the bottles because we will really have to define it case by case.
Thank you, Sebastian. He's going to be back soon, and we'll just make the introduction to the next part. As Sebastian already said, each project, each bottle is a story for itself. But anyhow, we prepared for this webinar, two case studies on weight optimization on our collection bottles. So one for spirit and one for perfumery. First, we will explain a little bit more into details what we did on our spirit bottle, which has original weight of 750 grams. Then as a step one, we decreased the weight to 600 grams. And in step two, to the lightweight optimization of to the level of 500 grams. Here you see that the reductions of weight are relatively strong, mainly because the bottles we chose, of course, are there, we say cylindrical, relatively standard shape. So take it as a simulation for the presentation purposes. Sebastian is back.
Okay, thank you. So on the left side, you see the original version of the bottle. So it's volume 700 ml, a brim-full capacity of 730 ml, and weight of 750 grams. So we did two variants. So the first is in proportional scale. So we slightly lower the height, we slightly decrease of shoulders, and we also decrease just for a few millimeters the diameter of the bottle. We also took some glass from the bottom just to gain this 600 and in 600 grams, and in version 2 500 grams. Variant 2, it's a little bit different. We kept height, we kept diameter of the original bottle, but just we lower the shoulders, and also took some glass from the bottom. So version 3, again, 600 grams, and version 4, 500 grams, and volume stay as it was on the in original bottle 700 ml. So here we see the filled bottles. So the first variant through the proportional scale, you see it's not a big difference than the original bottle, just maybe you see difference, which is mostly seen the bottom, and then variant 2 where we lower the shoulders. So we kept the height. We took some glass from the bottom of the bottle, but still all the bottles are the same volume, 700 LM. Just weight optimization was done. Yep.
Back from my side, what do we gain below the line? First of all, CO2 footprint reduction directly. You can say with the weight reduction 1-to-1, the CO2 footprint is reduced. More than that, you can see that the number of the bottles that we can load on full truckload is 8% higher in both of the weight reduction cases, which is again bringing both CO2 footprint reduction and also direct cost reduction in terms of freight costs per bottle transported. And last but not least, also direct, I would say, impact on the product pricing. Typically, we could say that for spirit bottles, the experience showed that roughly 50 to 60% of the weight decrease could be transferred to this direction. Of course, we need to understand that the final pricing is defined by MOQ quality level, hot, cold end treatment, and so on and so forth. So again, we will be happy to have more tangible studies for some of your products. Then similar approach for one of the our standard flacons for perfumery. You see, again, we're speaking about cylindrical and relatively standard shape, original weight 220 grams, Step 1, 180 grams. Step 2, 150 grams. Sebastian?
Thank you, Clement. So again, on the left side, original bottle, volume of 100 ml, brimful capacity of 108 ml, and 222 grams. So the first case. So again, through proportional scale, we just lower the height a bit, lower the diameter, and also we just took some glass from the bottle. So first version 180 grams, and the second version 150 grams, and the volume stayed the same. And then at second case, we just lower the height of the bottle. We kept the diameter, and also we took some glass from the bottom, just again in version 3 180 grams, and in version 4 150 grams. And this is how the filled bottle looks like. So again, the first case, you see mainly difference in the bottom, and in the second case, the height is the main difference between optimized bottles and the original version.
Thank you, Sebastian. Once again, what do we get? Interestingly, here you can see that the impact on the number of bottles that we can load on the full truck, and consequently decrease of the footprint in terms of CO2 and freight costs is much higher compared to the spirit bottle. On the other hand, the part of the weight decrease that could be transferred to the product pricing here is more on the narrow side. Let's say more on 40 to 50% of the weight decrease, as you can see here in the middle. This is mainly, I would say, due to smaller dimensions, less glass, fire polishing connected, and so on and so forth. I guess Sebastian would know more about that. Once again, savings are informative and can differ project by project. So we will, saying once again, be happy to commit to more details once we have some of your projects on board. That would conclude the first part of the presentation of the session. As Mateusz said at the beginning, we have also our General Director, Mr. Peter Jas, here with us, and he will explain us the view on supporting activities in order to support value engineering, what we are doing in terms of strategic perspective investments and next steps in front of Hrastnik1860.
Sure. Thank you, Clement. Yes, I'm happy that all our current and also future planned investments are focused in creating greater value for our customers by increasing efficiency, productivity, for sure quality, also boosting innovations, reducing environmental footprint, and for sure great care for our employees and also the local community, which part of it we are as a company here in Hrastnik for sure. So last 3 years we were heavily investing in inspection machines on hot and cold end, also automatic palletizers to ease the work of our employees, lean processes with improving flexibility and agility, digitalization in sales, production and supporting services, and also starting to use big data for analyzing and improving our processes with artificial intelligence. And also all the investments in digitalization, automation, and lean manufacturing are bringing us on the road towards the smart factory. With planned investments in next 3 years, majority of our processes will be optimized, which will secure even greater stability, flexibility, innovations, quality, and services for our customers and for our partners. When we are talking about sustainability, there were already done big steps here in Hrastnik with reducing CO2, NOx emissions, and also water consumption. So the company policy we have is that all the approved investments must bring reduction of environmental footprint. And also new oxy-fuel furnace and replacing tableware with packaging this autumn will bring us great success on further reducing emissions. Hrastnik1860 innovations are not only product focused as we presented during this presentation. Process-focused innovations are a part of our daily business. So hydrogen pilot project starts in September this year with objective to be industrialized in 2022. So in 2 years should be our goal is to industrialize hydrogen project. So new industrial furnace, which will start to operate end of this year, will be already hydrogen firing ready and ready for industrial tests after pilot phase of hydrogen project. Also enlarging capacities. We are enlarging existing 80-ton oxy-fuel furnace to 100-ton, and this will add us additional 80-ton of super flint or extra flint glass while exiting tableware business. And we will be able to offer highest quality super flint glass with lower CO2 emissions per ton to our customers and partners from November 2020 on.
Thank you, Peter.
Welcome.
This basically brings us to the end of the content that is prepared. Fine. So anyhow, any of the questions that may still arise, interest that you may have, you're more than welcome to contact us. I believe also my colleagues will contact you possibly in the next stages. And in case you have a tangible project in mind that we could tackle through the exercise that we try to show you, we will be more than happy to take it on board. That being said, Mateusz, I'm giving word back to you to tell us a bit more about this one.
So first of all, I still received a question. Will you share the presentation by Line? Yeah, of course. The session is going to be recorded. So we'll send you the follow-up link and you can watch it then on YouTube. Yeah, on that note, I think this is the end of the webinar, and I would like to kindly invite you to fill in the survey that you're going to receive in the email after. This just a few questions, and you fill in, and basically it gets you a chance to win a free weight optimization design, and then you'll be in the draw for the winning prize. The winner is going to be announced on August 5th. So yeah, please do that. I would also like to thank you, gentlemen, for members of this panel, for your inputs. I hope everyone found something interesting in these topics, and I would also like to thank the audience for interesting questions. We plan to have a whole series of these webinars, and the next one is going to be in fall of 2020. So be sure to follow us on social media and newsletters, and you will find out soon enough. Thanks again, and we hope to see you, if possible, in person very soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.